I grew up in a small town in a small state of South Dakota. My family, grandparents were farmers. My dad was a gold miner, so we were just born to working class. And I just knew that I didn't want to spend my life in South Dakota. Just like many of us in our youth, we got to get away. And my getting away was going as far as I could. I went into the Navy and went to the East Coast, so a long ways from home. That's how I got to Jacksonville and met my wife. And for me then the journey kind of started. I was going to go to school, work through, get through school and whatever my career was going to lead to. I needed a job. I was broke. Everything I owned fit in the backseat of a Ford Escort GT. And I just needed work. I was broke and living on a couch. That's where I started. And that job though turned into this career. It was supposed to be short term. I found out I was pretty good at dealing with the mechanical side of things and the people side of things. And opportunity presented itself and I took advantage. And so here I am 28 years later. I've stayed in that industry, continually having success. The path to Florence was through working with another franchise. I was in Florida, met my wife in Florida, and they had an opportunity for me to promote and run a number of stores. So I ended up in South Carolina. Florence was an opportunity to purchase from another operator, really for the company I was working for. They did not want it. And so there was some push from those that knew me and how I was as an operator to try to buy into the market. I was 27 at the time, so making me a very young franchisee who did not think I could purchase my own franchise. But grace of God and just a lot of hard work, we were able to do that. In 2002, when we came here to Florence, we only had 13 employees. That included Sylvia and I. So, payroll was literally handwritten manual checks to every single one of them. I remember doing it. And now to think, we've got 100 employees roughly for Bronco Lube and growing. We're adding some more sites and more people. And so we're becoming a bigger company. It's been fun to watch that growth and people that started with me in those early days, a couple of them here today that were here 15, 20 years ago. So as we spent time in Florence, we'd been here probably 15 years, close to 15 years in Florence, grown as much as we could really grow in the Florence market. And specifically, we were looking at, well, do we want to grow? And growth meant probably moving. And Greenville is a beautiful city. So we really talked about it as a family. My youngest daughter was going to night school. So that was a time for us. Let's go ahead and, make the move, grow in Greenville. And we have. We've grown really fast. In 5 years, we went from our first location we built. We have 6 operating today in the upstate alone. And then we have another 2 being built now and a third one will probably start next year. So exciting. So it's amazing to start thinking about over the last 20 years how many vehicles we've actually serviced. And the number's roughly 1 million. And that's a wild thought in my mind that over that period of time we could actually touch that many vehicles, take care of that many customers. And I'd like to think, through that we've serviced multiple generations of customers, grandparents to grandchildren now that have come through our facilities. So over the last 20 years, Bronco Lube has been fortunate enough to win several awards, which really for us is just confirming the work. It just says, hey, all the hard work that we're doing is being recognized. There's 260 roughly franchises in the entire system, over 2,000 Jiffy Lubes. And we've been awarded the top award, Franchise of the Year, on 2 different occasions, in 2020 and in 2013. And so we've had a long history of success in the model, and that you win that award through hitting high marks in every area: customer satisfaction scores, car count growth, sales growth. We hit them all, and it's a rounded number, and we're the top twice out of over 260. And we've won Operator of the Year, we've won some other awards. We've done all that through the people that work here at Bronco Lube that have vested so much time and so much energy at trying to be at the top of their game all the time. And it's a grind. Our environment is tough. Our industry is hot and it's cold depending on the elements, and it's retail. So it's a tough environment, and we've been able to do that because we've got really good people. So the future of Jiffy Lube is bright, in my opinion. People ask me that all the time. What are you going to do? EVs are coming. It's a question that's commonly asked. it doesn't concern us too much because, one, the average age of vehicles on the road is 12 years, and most of the vehicles being manufactured are still combustion today. So we know our future is still safe for a period, but it's changing. We know that. We know that the evolution is coming in the sense that there's going to be more EVs. There's been hybrids for 15 years, so we understand the change, and we adjusted to hybrids. We'll adjust to EVs. We are able to service their filters. We're able to service their tires and tire rotations and brakes and alignments. That's why we got into some of that industry, because we knew once oil changes, as it starts to slide a little bit because of EVs and the introduction of more of them, we would need to be able to do other things, and we'll be able to do that. We've got bays. We'll be there for our customers. Some of the challenges facing us today are staffing challenges, number one. You know, there's supply challenges. You know, there's all the same challenges everybody's dealing with in the moment. We think those challenges, like all challenges, they're different. We're basically exchanging this challenge for the last challenge. We just gonna look at it as what it is. We'll combat it the best way we can. You know, we'll work through it. You know, that's what we do. Bronco Lube has been resilient in that over 20 years, we've been able to, you know, weather the crash of 2008, 2009, and still grow through that time period. We've seen, you know, hybrids come into the market. We've seen all sorts of change happen, and this change that's happening today won't affect us. We'll keep moving forward for the next 20 plus years.